Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. In today's video we are going to be doing my June 2025 collection kind of update. My collection has really grown over the past few months and years alongside that as well. And not only that, but we are finally at the almost like 100 aircraft kind of mark for the very first time. And so to kind of celebrate it, I guess you could say, that I'll be starting off with like the international kind of airliners and aircraft. And I don't think anybody has ever done this in their airplane collection before, and I think I am the first and only person to do this. And the only reason, of course, I wanted to do this again is just because is that we're at like the 100 airplane mark for the very first time. And like I said, I don't think anybody has ever done this before, where they start with their European and international kind of aircraft, and then they go to the U.S. domestic kind of airliners and aircraft. But besides that, let's just get into my almost like 100 airplane collection update anniversary for June of 2025. Oh, and while I'm here I will also go through after I go through like every aircraft. I'll have like I'll explain what those gaps are for. Because if you can see, we have gaps for British Airways, Lufthansa, and obviously Turkish as well, and other airlines like that. And yeah, I'll explain that in the entire video, of which aircraft I want to add in the future, sure, and more. But besides that, let's just get into it. All right, so starting with, of course, the international and European kind of aircraft now. We have this British Airways Concorde, which is the only kind of supersonic aircraft that they've ever operated, which is really cool. But then here I got almost like a gap for, I think, two 777-200 ERs, a 333 ER, and probably a 787-10 or an A350, or maybe a 787-9 as well. But then right here we have a Daron, a 787, and then a 747 from Daron 2. And then we have two of the A380s, which are in, of course, the British Airways color scheme. And then right over here we have Virgin Atlantic, Icelandair, and Aer Lingus. So down here we have this Virgin Atlantic A330-900, Icelandair 737 MAX 8, and Aer Lingus A330 from Daron. I do want to get like at least two or three more kind of aircraft from all three of these airlines. I want to get the Virgin Atlantic 787-9, the A350, and possibly an A330-300 as well, and maybe the 747-400, despite that is retired, which is, of course, really sad. But I think I'm still add it to the collection anyway, just because it looks quite nice. Then for Icelandair, on the other hand, I do want to get the 737 MAX 9 and some more MAX 8s eventually, and I think five or six 757s. It's for them as well. And then for Aer Lingus, I do want to get the A321 XLR from them. And if you guys don't know that, I got rid of my Gemini A321 LR/Neo. Oh, just because the engine, not the engine, sorry, the winglet was damaged and ruined and broken and all that. So hopefully I can get the Aer Lingus A321 XLR, or maybe the LR version of that aircraft from NG. So hopefully I'll get all of those aircraft in the future. Anyway, moving back here now, we have Lufthansa. So here we have the 747-8 I in the old livery, and then here we have the new livery A350. This is from Gemini Jets, and then I got like a gap here for either an A340-600 or a 747-400, and maybe their brand new 787-9. But then here we have the Norse 787-9, And then right here we have two KLM 787s. I do want to get rid. I think I do want to get rid of these two aircraft, I should say, and kind of replace it with the A350 when they eventually get the A350 into their fleet. And then also I want to put a almost like an NG or Phoenix version of the 787 from KLM here as well. But moving back here now, we have this Alitalia A330, which is from Daron. And then that gap there is going to be from ITA Airways, which is, of course, the brand new kind of Italy kind of national airline, which replaced Alitalia back in 2021, I think. And so, yeah, I got a gap there for ITA Airways. I want to get either the A350, the A330-900, or the A330-200 off to see. But then here we have Turkish 777, which is from Daron. And then in this gap again here, I want to put either the 777-300ER from NG there, or a 787-9 there. And here we have a Thai A350 and an Iberia A350 as well. Then moving back here to almost like the I would call it the Arabic and Australian kind of aircraft and airliners. So here we have this Emirates Boeing 777-300 ER with the new refresh kind of color scheme. Then we have the 777-9X there. And then in that gap there, I'm going to put the Emirates new color scheme A380 and maybe an A350 as well. But then up there we have the Emirates old livery A380, and then also an Etihad 787-9 as well. But then moving back here finally for the kind of international and European airliners, I would say, we have Qantas, LL, and Air New Zealand. So in this gap here, I want to put like a 787-9 from NG there, or when they re-release it, or maybe a A330-300. And then once I put that there, I'll probably get rid of this Daron 787 that I have in front of us here. And speaking of which, of course, here we have this Daron Qantas 787. And then we have three A380s, which are from Daron. And then finally back here we have the Air New Zealand 787 from Daron and the LL 787 from Daron as well. I do want to get the NG variants of both of these kind of aircraft and airliners, just to kind of get rid of these Daron 787s, as I'm not a huge fan of them, but they look okay. Then moving down here to my central kind of American aircraft and miscellaneous type aircraft, I should say as well. Anyway, here we have this Caribbean Airlines 737 in their older livery. This is from Daron. And then we have the new color scheme 737 MAX 8, and then Volaris A320neo as well. And then in that gap there, I want to put either a Copa 737 MAX 9 and also the Aeromexico new livery 737-800 MAX 9 or something. But then back here we have two Aeromexico 787s and then two LATAM 787s as well. And now we're going on to my U.S. domestic airliner kind of aircraft. So starting off with the low-cost airliners for the U.S., of course. Right here we have this Southwest Airlines Boeing 737-700 with the split scimitars and is in the Missouri 1 color scheme. Then here we have the Disney Pixar Coco color scheme for Southwest. And then here we have the regular Heart livery 737-700, or the current livery. And then in this gap here, I want to put like a 737-800 and a MAX 8 in the regular Heart livery there. And then up there we have three Daron 737 in the regular Southwest Heart livery, of course. Now moving back here to JetBlue, Alaska, and Hawaiian. So here we have this JetBlue Embraer E190, and then in that gap there, I want to put the almost like the new livery A220-300 there. But then we have the regular kind of livery A220-300, the new color scheme A320, and then the regular livery A320 there. And then in that gap there, I want to put like a A321 and an A321neo down there as well. But hopefully I'll pick those aircraft up and add it to my collection. Then moving back here to Alaska and Hawaiian. So here we have this Alaska Airlines Airbus A320, which is in the Fly with the Pride livery. And then in that gap there, I want to put a 737-800 and a 737-900ER, both in the regular livery. And then here we have the One World livery 737-900ER from Alaska Airlines, of course. And then in that gap there, I want to put a Max 8 and a Max 9 in the regular livery. And then here we have the Orca color scheme 737 Max 9. And then finally for Alaska, we have a regular livery 737 from Daron. Then moving back to Hawaiian now, we have the Hawaiian Boeing 787-9. And then for that gap there, I have a gap there for the A330-200, which I will definitely pick up from NG or maybe Gemini Jets. I have to see. And then right there, we also have a Hawaiian Airlines A321neo. All right, then moving back here, we're going on to Spirit, Allegiant, and Frontier. So here we have this. I got a gap here for like a regular A320 from Spirit, which I'll pick up soon. But then here we have the Gemini Jets A320neo from Spirit. We then have this NG version of the A320neo from Spirit. So yeah, two A320neos there. And then we have this Spirit Airbus A321, which is from NG as well. And then in this gap here, I want to put the Spirit A321neo there. But then here we have this Allegiant A319. And then for that gap there, I want to put either an A320 or a 737 MAX 8-200 there. And then moving back here to Frontier now, we have this Airbus A320neo. And then for this gap here I want to put the A320, the A321, and the A321neo there. But then we have three A320s from Frontier, which are from Daron. Then moving back here to my Canadian kind of airliner aircraft, we have this Air Canada Express CRJ-900. And then for that gap there, I want to put like an A220-300 or an E175 over there. And then here we have this Air Canada 777 from Daron. If I got like NG models 777-300ER or a 787 from them, I'll probably get rid of this. But then here we have a gap for two WestJet aircraft, which are going to be the 737 MAX 8 and the 737-700, both in the new color scheme. But then, of course, here in the new color schemes, we have three WestJet aircraft. So here we have this 737-800, and then two 787s. And then here for this gap, I do also want to put like the WestJet 767 or the 787-9 which I will add into my collection in the near future. But then moving back here, finally now we're going to start with the legacy airliners. So here we have this American A350, which is a fictional aircraft, of course. And then for that gap there, I want to put the American Airlines 777-200ER, the 777-300ER, or the 787-8 or 9. We then have this American Airlines A321 Neo. And then in this big gap here, I want to put the an A319, an A320, and a regular A321, and then also probably even a 737-800 and a 737 MAX. But then last but not least for American, we have two American Eagle Embraer E175s, and then we have a gap there for like a CRJ 900 and an ERJ 145. And then down the end there, we have a CRJ-700 from American Eagle as well. And then moving back here to Delta now, we have this Delta Airbus A350 from Daron. And then we have the A330-900 Neo from NG. Oops. And then we have the Daron 767 from Delta there. And then in this gap here, I want to put like a 757 or an A220-100 or even an A319 there. But then we have the Boeing 717 from Delta. And in that gap there, I want to put like an Embraer E175 and maybe a CRJ 700. I'll have to see. And then finally for Delta, we have the Delta Connection CRJ-900. And then finally for the almost like U.S. domestic and civilian aircraft, we have United Airlines, of course. So here we have this United Airbus A320. And then moving on to the 757s now. It's really sad that these have been repainted in real life, but it's still good to have these in your collection, I guess you could say. But here we have the two right here color schemes on the Boeing 757-200. The one on your left there is the New York livery, and then the one on your right here is the California livery. And then I have a gap there for the Star Alliance color scheme, Boeing 757-200, good from them. And then here we have the regular color scheme, 757-200. And we also have the 757-300, good as well. And then back here we have two 787s in the new livery from Daron. And then in that gap there, I want to put like a 767-400ER or something else like that. But then, and last but not least for United Airlines, we have two old livery aircraft, which are a 777 on the left and a 747 on the right here. And now we're going to move on to the almost like cargo and presidential and miscellaneous type airliner aircraft. So down here we have this FedEx Boeing 767-300, good freighter. And then in that gap there, I want to put the FedEx A300-600 freighter there, or maybe a 757. And then there we have the FedEx 777 from Daron. And then here in this gap, I want to put like a UPS MD-11 or that A300-600F, just like FedEx. But then here for UPS, we have a 767-300 jet freighter. Moving back to the presidential aircraft now, here we have this U.S. Air Force C-32 or the 757. And this is commonly known as Air Force 2 as well. And then in this gap here, I want to put the brand new Air Force 1, which is on the 747-8. And then we have two of the current Air Force 1 747s. And this is the -200 variant from Daron, I would say. And then moving back here to my house livery kind of aircraft and my Pan Am as well. So down here we have this 777-9X in the Boeing house colors, and the same with these two 787s, which are in different liveries. And then we also have a Pan Am 747, and then an Airbus A380 in the Airbus Industry livery. And then finally, for my entire collection celebrating the 100 airplane mark, we have this American construction Lego kind of aircraft, and then two Southwest, and then a Delta one as well. And then we have two police jet kind of Lego aircraft, along with 6 Lego people down there, which can fly the plane and stuff like that. And then, of course, finally, last but not least, we have my Skymarks Alaska Airlines Boeing 737-900ER, which is in the More to Love livery. But apart from that, I hope you guys enjoyed this like 100 airplane mark anniversary. We will definitely be increasing in this collection in the future. Sure, and of course these videos will get longer as my collection increases and stuff. But overall, I really hope you guys enjoyed this, celebrating this like 100 airplane and kind of collection update for June of 2025. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.